Yeah, thanks for doing this, guys. This is,
You're welcome.
first of all, really cool space that you all maintain. One of a kind. I was just telling Ivan that it's probably the prettiest residential area I've been to in the States. So, congratulations for that. So proud to work with you all. Um, let's start with some intros. Ivan, would you like to kick us off?
Sure. My name is Ivan Vargas or Ivan Vargas, as I'm known here. I'm the commercial estimator for the Greenery. I've been with the company for 5 years. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Very cool. D?
I'm Dee Freilich. I am a business developer for the Greenery, and I've been with the company just a little under 4 years.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm Stacy
Stacy.
Montoya. I've been with the company almost a year now, and I work in the Jacksonville market as a business developer.
Very cool. So, Ivan was telling me when you came into the company, actually, SiteRecon was already a thing. Were you here before that, Dee?
Yes.
Oh, you were here before that. All right. So I'm gonna start with Dee and just ask about like how things were done before. Just like walk us through how you used to do sales and where the measurement piece used to fit into it.
So we call it traditional takeoff, I guess. So once I identified a site that qualified for maintenance, we would then schedule a walkthrough with the branch manager. They typically were involved in doing all the pricing estimates. The business developers never really, we would consult on the pricing once they came up with it, but it would literally be us doing a site walk. And then they would typically go back with the operations team and production manager to do an additional site walk to try identify number of hours, bale counts, things like that. So it was all hands-on, traditional, figuring it out the old school way.
Very cool. And so, big site, small site, you would go to all of them?
Yes.
I see. So, a lot of time.
A lot of hands-on work.
Exactly. And you would have been doing this for like since ever, right?
Yes, since I started with the company.
All right. And then what was the change you saw that came about once SiteRecon got introduced?
Well, it was a lot easier. So I would be able to do the site walk and then identify the spaces through either the walk itself or through the client's scope of work and maps if they have them. It was fun because you could build that map to the client specs and be more accurate. And then after that, we handed it all off to Ivan to figure it out. But it's a lot easier to work. The clients really responded well to being able to give them those maps. That was lacking, I think, in the traditional way. You could, on larger accounts, we would work with a Google map version of trying to create those maps for the clients, just for the scope of work. So now it's a lot easier to be able to give them that really hands-on custom map to their location and what all is entailed.
Right. Stacy, before I get to you, I just want to ask Ivan, from your point of view, I think you did look at estimating, well, not probably full time, but at least on the side, the way the whole pipeline used to play out earlier and after it came out. So
Yeah, so I was an account manager before I was the estimator on the estimator seat. In the old way or the traditional way, we have a lot of troubles because everybody will look the property differently.
Yeah.
It was putting a lot of pressure on the branch managers, along with taking care of the teams, taking care of the account managers, the clients. They were just trying to do the best they could. So they would go to the property, try to schedule with the BD, spending a lot of time walking with the client, sometimes even measuring with the wheel, trying to guess. I used to call it guess estimated. Now, you being in the industry for 20, 30 years, you're really good at it. So some of our solid branch managers were good. But we have some rising stars that are just becoming branch managers. So for them, it was really hard. So as we start implementing this new idea of let's centralize this, let's take that out of their hands and bring them more value, where now you have an estimate that is more precise and you can go there and actually have 80% of the work that you used to do already in your hands. You're familiar with it. One thing that really helped us, it was listening to the business developers. You guys were already doing all this stuff, but every business developer was also a little different. So when we come out with the idea, the first thing we did is we put together all the business developers trying to standardize how we go to the client and what questions are important for us to know in every property. So we can hit those questions along with any specs. And once we know that, we can do a better job estimating than giving that to the branch manager. So that was another piece that was important. Sometimes these FRPs are very confusing. So we have our own standard. So going with the client and say, this is what you're saying, this is what we have. This is what we have to offer. So standardizing all of that really helped us from the sale component and then down the pipe, estimating. And then SiteRecon was our perfect partner in mapping and speeding up the process to see everything from the top level to bring those maps to branch managers and then down the road for production. So it worked out really well.
I think it definitely made the sales process a lot easier in the sense of instead of us tying up the branch managers for hours potentially to go to all these numerous sites, I literally would have a standing day just where with the branch manager I would go out to look at multiple sites, as many as we could, multiple sites at once. Us as business developers can now run with it. With Ivan's assistance, we can get everything pre-built and done. So when we actually do that final site review, at that point we're just identifying things that may need to be tweaked based on the client's requirements versus trying to figure it all out. And the property managers love the maps. I mean, I've had several property managers steal my maps. Yeah, because literally we got one guy, I call the map stealer, because they don't have property maps for their own clients. So when we produce that in a proposal pack, they're now utilizing that in their
internal
package. Yeah, where the clients is like, oh, now I know exactly what needs to be done because I wasn't really sure before. So we can take the time and go identify areas that have previously not been identified by what maps they had or didn't have, and now they have these maps on their own property. So they love them too. So I think it's really helped set us apart as to what we've been able to provide our property managers as well as their clients.
Stacy, you were not in landscaping before?
I've been in landscaping altogether almost 5 years now.
Okay.
So I've worked for the largest company in the country, and we used the Google Maps approach when I was there. I don't know what technology they use now, so it was not a truly accurate measure. And then I've worked for a very small mom and pop company where we did the wheel. We literally went and wheeled properties and measured properties, and that's a team effort. You really need 2 folks or more to go and wheel a property. And so I've seen it from the least efficient possible way, and this is by far the most efficient possible way. So
when you wheel it, do you wheel everything?
You're wheeling the bed, you're wheeling the turf, you're counting the trees.
Old school.
The old school is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's like a school trip out in the field, right?
Right, yeah.
And that's why it would take so long to get a lot of these properties put together pricing-wise. A lot of it was more guesstimating on some areas than estimating.
Right.
The big component was also the property perimeter. It's always sometimes managers don't know exactly what they're responsible for.
Right.
Correct.
So having that map from the beginning, literally set the field. This is where we're responsible,
right.
And they confirm that.
Yeah.
It's building that. I can tell you as an account manager, in the past, many times I would take care of a property and down the road realize that wasn't part of the contract. Or the other way around.
Right.
Yeah, miss a total area.
Literally one time I have a whole block for 6 months. I didn't know it was part of my contract. That 2 account managers before me, they didn't know. Until somebody came with actual blueprints, like, yeah, it's responsible.
Yeah, because there's no map.
Because there's no map. So something as simple as defining the perimeter is starting on the right direction from the beginning, and then everything else on builders.
And that really works as a checks and balances system for you as well. So you're saying, I'm proposing this square footage of your property. I'm proposing these areas of coverage of your property. And if they're seeing the proposal, they're seeing the pricing, and those things align, then they're agreeing to this. If you missed an area, then you've shown right there in the map, we did not know that area was part of the coverage. And so then you can go back and make, change orders to the contract and things like that. So it does help in that regard.
I think it has also helped clients identify maybe areas that they didn't know of. Because with us pre-doing the maps before it goes to Ivan, I've gone into a map and gone, wait, but this looks like common space that's not being done and it's not identified on my competitor's service map. I just had that this week. So I literally sent them my map and said, okay, all these areas I've highlighted are not on the service map. Are they not servicing it? is it supposed to be serviced? So they actually had to go dig into their own contract to go see if it was a serviceable area or not. So I think it helps them kind of realize, one, things are not being done that they thought were being done, or two, do we need to be doing those areas, or three, no, we at least agree that it's not on part of the service area. So
What did they find in that case? Did they come back to you?
thankfully, it was not part of that service area,
Okay.
correct. So the map that I had to go off was fairly accurate. There were still a couple areas that we identified was not on there,
Yeah.
but about half was not on there that needed to be, and half wasn't. So it was a little bit of a mix.
The big thing I'm seeing is trust. Right? When we go to our
Trust.
clients and we start doing this, we start with good communication and they start trusting us because we actually have a process. We're the expertise on that. We know what we're doing. So giving that information to them, it opens that communication.
Right.
It's like we're not just here to be the low bidders. That is not our business.
Yeah.
When with a company, we want to be the best in the markets that we serve. So we started from the beginning. We want to be the best of defining your perimeters. We want to know the property better than you even know, so we can actually serve it and move it to the next level. That's kind of how we do it. With sales teams focusing on the client component because that's what you guys are for, right?
Yeah.
Making sure you're reading all of that instead of walking around with a wheel, making sure put everybody in the right seat
Right.
and they can be better. Another thing that really helps with the system was standardizing how we're estimating. Now the BDs, they know when they look into a property, they're looking at what size of mowers you're going to be using. They're looking at, there's potential for PGR. There's a lot of parameters that we put in place that really help them to sell more. It is there.
The overhead of measuring, if that's not on you, I mean, you just end up spotting other things important to the value of the contract, what the client would appreciate, and so on. Like just the mind is going to more important stuff.
Correct.
I know there are some companies where they don't trust the BDs to actually put in the property boundaries, and I think the BDs will send that email, the estimator would put it in, and the BDs would sort of review it, and then the orders would get placed. You're running it a little differently. Like I've heard people also say that it's sort of hard to get sales guys to use new tech.
I know, I love it. It's actually a very. Now I remember when we first started, like Plato, there was some challenges.
Yeah.
We were on the calls with everybody, and that's come a long way. I love it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that, but I think as salespeople, we're pretty OCD in the sense of we like having that control of making sure everything's correct.
Yeah.
Because we want that best price for our client too, so we
Yeah.
can negotiate and sell that contract.
And the presentation.
And the presentation piece, and it helps us understand the property better too. Even though we've walked it, just seeing it visually, because we walk it and then we go back, we have a better visual trying to identify those areas. So I love that we have that ability to create those maps. I enjoy it.
One big chain I saw with the BDs. We have around 6 BDs. When Stacy came on board, she's the first one that we already had the system in place.
Yeah.
So it was a whole new training for her. This is how we do it. And she took it and kind of moved it to the next level because I guess when you experience in the past, struggling with all this
Right.
management, I mean, she got on it and started putting notes and just moving that up. So that really made us realize how easy for us now to implement. When you have the standard, you can bring more BDs, you can bring new branch managers, because there is a system now to follow. It's applicable, it's trainable, more people can use it, but definitely was a learning curve.
Yeah, when we started.
They were not too happy with me at first.
Yeah.
When I started making them go into a computer and put the map, it's like it's a lot of time. Like we're gonna have the map, and now they're.
And there's still some learning depending on the property.
Yeah,
No,
for
I need it
sure.
this way. It's more parcels I have to make. But it's all good.
Yeah, to Ivan's point, like I've been doing this long enough that I know that what you see from a satellite image is not what you see from the ground in a lot of cases.
Correct.
Like as an example, we have a property that's right on the ocean in Amelia Island Plantation. It's almost like it's built on a dune. It's this beautiful turf yard that they have behind these condos. From space, it looks like this nice, beautiful yard. In real life, it's like 30-degree angle slopes. And so like I go and I shoot the image to upload to SiteRecon for Ivan to see. This is not something we can jump on a mower and we need to probably
Interesting.
push mow this, so that affects production rates and things like that. So having the opportunity to like upload photos,
And
upload
notes.
notes, I know saves that like conversation of, oh wait, this property's a little more complicated than we thought. You're seeing that before we get to that stage, and you're able to make those adjustments before we get to that stage. So it's like very beneficial. You couldn't do something like that with
In the past.
first
Yeah.
image, you
No.
know.
So, just at what point do you do that? You do that after you place or you draw the boundaries and then you do it, and then
Yeah.
So what I will do, that property as an example was a full service condo community, wall to wall.
Yeah.
And so I drew the boundaries around the community, and then
Yeah.
while I was on site with walking the site with the client, I'd snap pictures as I was walking around. And so before I ever submit it and save it and send it to Ivan, I've uploaded those photos and those comments for that property. So before the first person puts eyes on it, they've seen, you know, okay, I can see there's going to be some, and I'll make notes as well when I submit everything to Ivan in our, you know, kind of our process is an email saying, this is a new property attached to the SiteRecon map that I've completed. And I'll reference back. You'll see the photos on SiteRecon. And so, so like that's what I do is I kind of prepare you guys. I prepare Ivan for this is what the property looks like on the ground. I don't do it with every property because some properties are pretty clean and simple. But if they're a complicated property, I try to do as many photos as possible. If there's flower beds, I want to, you know, do nice photos of that so that he can really see, like, if he's coming back with a certain quantity of square footage of flowers and the photo I've taken, you know, kind of contradicts that, you know, like I've gotten photos from the most current plantings on property and things like that. So, you know, kind of some, again, checks and balances. That's what the system's really great for. So.
very cool. I think over time you use it, you can start to appreciate all the stuff that you can see from an aerial view versus the ground view, and the ground view needs to account for like all the production challenges, stuff that is up to date might have changed since the aerial photos are collected, even access restrictions and like more customer requirements specific to assets on site.
Right.
Very cool. So you would stream that over, and one, you work remotely, and without that, it doesn't work.
These ladies, they're the boots on the ground.
Yeah.
They're the ones doing the hard work looking at that. So I need to see it from their eyes. And that's what Plato kind of does for us, took the pictures. I mean, we can talk about it, but that's the, I guess, say, you know, the old way. Like you can be in a communication, and when you're in the phone, it just takes, you know, longer to get the point.
And it's harder to identify those exact areas.
You know, you gotta move to the left and right. When there's a picture of the flower beds,
Tagged.
Right here on this spot.
I open it up. I have my square footage. I can even count how many plants are in there real quick.
Yeah.
And get those estimates right away. And when you're doing one, it's fine. But when you're doing multiple markets at the same time, all coming in, you have to have something that is easy and simple for everybody to understand. So that's where, you know, it's been great to have SiteRecon being our partner in that.
Yeah.
Because we want to be the best of what we do, from the sales, from the estimating, from the production, for the branch manager. We want to be the best. So to be the best, you have to have those steps. So it's a lot of thought, and we're constantly trying to, you know, see something with Stacy. And I use you as a guinea pig sometimes. Like, hey, why don't you do it like Stacy with the flower? We'll take a picture. Why don't you do it like Diego? Why don't you do it like the whole business developer?
Yeah.
So it really is a team effort.
Right.
Team effort.
That's
for
what
sure.
we try to do. We work as a team. And the BD is by far is probably one of the best things that we have in the company, because they are over there looking at things, making sure nothing gets missed, give the best value to the customers, and so they make, at the end of the day, they make my life easier, because I completely, talking with trust, I completely trust the perimeters that they did is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not for me to say they're the ones talking with the client. It's not for me to say where the boundary is. That's not my school. My school is to make sure that every capture gives us enough time, materials, and we're competitive. Right. So everybody kind of knows what they're supposed to do. We're trying to clear that out from the beginning and working all together. And, you know, we all win.
Yeah.
And we lose, we all lose. So it's not one man. We all go together.
Yeah. It's like we take off the measurements from you. You focus on the client stuff. Then Ivan is able to focus on the estimating piece, and you know, because you are being so detailed with the stuff you're documenting on site, when the branch manager goes out there, he's just got less things to focus on, right? Like,
Correct.
Every step is taking care of the step afterwards, and then the next guy is building on it.
Yeah, so we'll talk with branch managers today, but yeah, they have an estimate that is already put together, so they gotta do, you know, I try to get into the they love football here, right? So he's trying to get into the last 10 yards. Then he's gonna do the touchdown.
Right.
He's gotta finish the last
Yeah.
of the game.
Yeah.
All the work from them is being done. All the work my part is done. They're just gonna make check.
Checks and
And then it goes
balances.
to the next phase, which is winning the contract and producing it and maintaining it. And we don't wanna just bid contracts. We want to make sure that the contract works for us and we can renew it, we can maintain it. I mean, it's building those relationships. So it's one piece of the whole structure that really helps for the branch manager to focus on what they need to do, BDs to focus on what they need to do, and the estimator focus on what he needs to do too. We
Yeah.
don't want the branch managers to estimating,
Yeah.
and that's a cultural shock.
Yeah.
I don't know if that many companies in here that will trust that way.
Oh, you would be surprised how many branch managers across the country are doing estimating. Yeah, because centralizing estimating as a role is a decision that needs to happen after a certain scale of business. You were just talking about this yesterday. 6 BDs is like huge volume in terms of the bids that are coming in. And so if you don't do that, then the branch managers have to move around their schedule a lot. Just to like make sure you guys are able to hit your timelines, and it will create operational friction for sure, and it does. So I mean, this is a very smart way of doing it for sure. So on the one last question on the Plato piece, the surveys that you're doing on property, are you also sharing those reports with the customers when you're going through your sales process?
I'm personally only sharing the map. I'm not sharing any square footages.
We didn't want to give too much to our competitors.
Probably-
Okay. That's fair. I mean, yeah, everybody has a specific
square foot on
strategy.
pine. Flowers or a bale count on pine straw. Yeah, we share that, but
I probably would run
Not
that up the
turf.
chain of command before I ever shared that, because I feel like that's what we're paying you guys for, and it's a little bit of, that's a little bit of
proprietary to
our
us.
intel,
Yeah.
like our intel that we have on the property. So I only share a map, even if I receive a map that might have some information on the side, I crop it so you're only seeing the highlighted
The
areas
maps.
covered on the map.
Got you. Is that Melissa?
yes.
Oh, she's
9:30. Okay.
all right. Got
You
you.
want me to cut me off and she can jump into the sales? But now you have the 3 sales.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that.
Yeah. Melissa, what did you do for the Greenery?
I'm the Director of Business Development for new commercial maintenance.
Very cool. And you always, obviously, you didn't always do that. You would have sort of grown into that role, right?
Yes.
But you've been Greenery for long?
Almost 13 years.
13 years? All right, very cool.
Yes.
Started with the business development piece and then built the team out?
Yes, well, I actually started as a construction OA and then worked my way up to a construction business developer and then became a commercial maintenance business developer, and now I'm here, so.
Very cool. So talk to us about how you look at your sales process and how you see this measurement technology that you're talking about, this mapping in general, fit into it.
So, I think that the efficiency of having and using SiteRecon is amazing. My team goes out to the site, they get an understanding of the property boundary lines. They go back, they create the plot in SiteRecon. We send the initial off to our commercial estimator, and they do their thing. We have a clear definition of what the property lines are. So we could typically verify with the property manager that this is what our proposal is based off of. It's a seamless process, and I think it's very user friendly for my team and for the operations team. We've been thrilled with it.
We appreciate the feedback we've been getting as well. The thing is, we are kind of just getting started because I think we've built the foundation of something that can create more and more data. Right now, we are doing 7-8 layers for you on a property. We could do way more. We can help you get more stuff documented in the field and so on. Let me get back to the team. When when you are looking at your team of 6 guys, 6 lit girls.
I have women and men. Yes, yes.
She just brought the girls today.
I love it. So, is there like a difference in approach you see across your team in the way they approach their customers and the way they use this technology and different ways in which they come up with like making the best of it?
Yeah, so, when we first started with it, it was challenging, because everyone's afraid of a little change and how is it going to work and how much time is it going to take. And then my team got used to using the system. We brought in the Plato app, which we can actually take pictures of certain things and notes that our estimator can see. And, it provides a clean map to our clients. We can provide the actual square footage of the beds, how many, square foot of turf is on the property. If there's tree canopies, we take pictures in Plato app and, we can bring that area into the SiteRecon map. So they're the eyes and you guys are the ears, and we provide a great product for our clients.
Very cool. I'm glad you brought up Plato app. Stacy, just following up on the question I asked you right when Melissa got here, the photos and notes that you're taking in the field, there would be stuff that is relevant to Ivan from a production standpoint, and there would be stuff that would be relevant to value addition that you can do to the property and to be sort of added to this process of proposing the work you're going to do. Do you use the second piece as well as part of your presentations and like building this rapport with customers? Have you tried getting that feedback from property managers?
So occasionally on the operations side, they'll use it to do like a site audit that we will share with the client through the presentation process, especially if that's something they're asking for. I don't personally do that. I do take a lot of photos when I'm on property, both for the production side of preparing the estimate, but also for using in the presentation. Sometimes they are the same photos that I'm sharing, with, placing on SiteRecon for you guys to review. And sometimes they're, maybe like a nice photo of the monument entry of the community that I use as like the front of the proposal or something like that. So in regard to using it kind of to share with clients things we've seen on property, it's a little bit of a yes and no, but the audit that I'll have my guys sometimes put together is occasionally prepared for someone ahead of time and shared with them ahead of time to show them like these are our reporting capabilities. This is a system that we use to do site audits and things like that, but I don't personally do the site audits myself. So
yeah. And I know, our teams are working on creating all types of several audits, out of SiteRecon that, in the future we can give to our clients, just how does the property look? We grade them. We can use SiteRecon as a mapping system, lean system. Where do you park the truck, on the property? What day of the week are we going to prune? What day of the week are we going to mow? What area, are we spraying in? So it will be a good tool once we finalize that for our clients as well.
Very cool. Did you have a thought on this?
Oh, no. I mean, the only thing I would say that when we do on the field doing those notes for Ivan for the estimating, if there are challenges for the clients where they need that enhancement, which we were asking about, we will do those notes just so the operations team can utilize that for their proposal packet. We don't get involved in that part of it, but we at least provide them the information and we can identify the areas on the SiteRecon map through Plato so that they can go back and pull that up and do their estimating for the proposal.
Got you. Melissa, have you noticed any difference in, you don't have to share the numbers with me, but in terms of the bids you guys were putting out, the close rates that you were seeing, even if you're not closing clients, like the kind of engagement you're getting from them? I have asked 3 separate questions.
Yeah.
Let's go with
so, with the volume of,
bids going up,
the proposals that we're putting out on the street have almost doubled this year compared to last year. And I think that's the reason is because my team's getting more efficient with creating the map. Ivan, our estimator, is getting more efficient on, creating the estimates and getting actual measurements from SiteRecon. What we've heard from our clients is, that map is amazing. the first part of the proposal, we don't put all the information on there, square footage, this and that, because, when a client asks, we want to be able to provide that, but we don't want to give away our secrets before, they're actually our clients. But I think it's a great tool for our teams. If you look at a bed and, there's a measurement of square footage of seasonal color, and you actually go to the site and you look, I think our operations team, really believes in the numbers in the process, feel good about it. So the more we utilize it, the better we get at estimating and winning contracts.
Got you. And the close rates, any comment on the close rates?
Close rates, there's all kinds of things that play into that. I mean, if we know a budget, if we modify a scope, but talking about the hours that we're estimating and the property perimeter, those are right on. So plus, it just looks, technology-wise, we're on the cutting edge of providing a client, what their property and our proposal is based off of.
Dee was talking about one of our customers being a map stealer. It's part of the value that you provide, I suppose, then goes into their customer experience.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. We've even talked about proprieting, our SiteRecon map with our logo because, it is nice to be able to hand to our client, like this is the map. But it's easy for clients to say, well, the Greenery, they did it this way. Why is yours different? So I think that's one of the benefits that separates us from a lot of our competitors.
Right. Have you any comments on what Melissa talked about in terms of bids and close rates, engagement?
I mean, you guys are the ones, dealing with the clients.
I will tell you, the way that it works for me through my sales process, when I'm on a sidewalk with a community association manager, a board member, or a facilities manager, part of what I'm telling them as we're going through the sidewalk is that we do team estimating at the Greenery. And that what team estimating means is that I'm out here looking at the property today. I'm going to bring back my operations team over the course of the next 2 weeks, and we're going to take a look around the property. We're going to put eyes on property. We're going to really understand the layout of everything here. Simultaneously, what I'm going to do when I leave here today is I'm going to go create a map in a system that actually uses satellite imagery, and we're going to measure every square foot of every bed, every area of turf, everything on this property. And together, we're going to use all of that information to kind of put together a scientific, approach to bidding this community. So we know we're bidding the right amount of square footage at the right production rates, and we're going to really understand what it takes to put together a solid number for you. That being said, of all the systems I've seen used in my landscaping history, this has by 1,000 miles been the most accurate that I've seen in terms of bidding, to the point that we'll bid properties, large scale properties, $400,000 and $500,000 annual contract properties, and we're within a $2,000 swing of our competition, a $5,000 swing of our competition. I mean, that's points on percentages of how close we are. So we know we're doing it right, so it gives us that satisfaction of, we believe we're doing it right, but the competition's coming back, and some of them are using a similar type of software system. Some of them are using you, I'm sure, so we know that we're doing our bidding, and our production rates are aligning with what, SiteRecon, the information SiteRecon is providing back to us. So that's a little bit of how I kind of use it in the sales process. I don't know if it ultimately helps me close deals or not. I think it makes the client feel like we're not just going to come in here and what I call pencil whip.
Guesstimate it.
And just guess something and put eyeballs on it and say, this looks like it's a one-day job or whatever. They know we're going to use these square footages and this, almost scientific approach of, making sure that what we estimate of their property is correct. So that's how I use it through the sales process. But again, I don't know. Maybe it closes deals for me. I would love to think that, yeah.
Well, you know what? If it closes deals for us, we are confident that we priced it right.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that feels good. You never want to leave money on the table or just be unsure. We're confident in the hours we provide and the square footages we provide. So, the process, if we win it, we know we're going to make money.
Right. Yeah. So, we come out with the technology, you use it, someone else comes out with a similar technology, they use it or they use us. What you want to ensure is going forward, this continues to be a cutting edge keep you on the cutting edge of sales, help you with higher level of win rates or efficiencies, that as a team lets you be like way more productive, ultimately capture market at a faster rate. Throw some ideas at me on what we can help you out with.
This is a silly thing, but if I could upload multiple photos at the same time, I'm usually taking photos on site. I download them to my shared folder and I'm in front of my computer. It's just easier for me to kind of work on my computer to upload photos. I use the app once in a while. I have a lot of Wi-Fi and like cellular issues in Jacksonville where I just can't even get on the Plato app. It has nothing to do with the app. It's just the service I have. So I've kind of gotten used to doing it on my computer for the most part. And so if I go to upload 2 or 3 photos of an area, it's one photo, takes a few seconds, another photo. So if I have a really large property and I have a lot of photos, I'm kind of like, oh, here we go. You know? So if there was a way we could do that, that's the one thing I would like to see. Multiple photos at once.
I love it. So
You can in the app, though. That's what's frustrating.
yeah.
In the app, you can do multiple photos.
That's so we are working on this offline piece for the app that should be rolling out by July.
Okay.
And all of what you just talked about will start working without cell reception.
Okay.
And
oh, cool.
And the thing that makes it slow right now is because every time you make a note or take a photo, the app waits for our server on the cloud to respond. Oh, has the data been sent over or whatnot, and then it moves to the next step because you don't want to lose information. So the moment it goes offline, it stops waiting.
Right.
It syncs up later on whenever you have coverage. Right. So in the field, it becomes very snappy.
Okay, good.
So it just goes from one step to the next, photo, note. It's just like, and then we'll also stop asking you to pin locations. We'll start taking up location from the device.
Oh, that's good.
Because it zooms down that spot, or even if it opens on that spot, there's like an additional step before you can complete it, right?
Yeah.
So
You got to select your pin. Yeah.
So
now it'll automatically do it with an X.
very
Perfect.
understanding. So it's not going to be exact because GPS has some range of error.
Right.
But there you go. It's going to make it really fast. So you can just keep walking, keep doing your thing. And
As you save the net, it'll save it in that spot. Perfect.
Yeah. I think, I know that you deal with several different layers of people at the Greenery, but I think I want to say that I know that we've had a great experience, and I think we're building a really good partnership with you and your team and our team, and I think, the future is wide open for growth and technology and how we can utilize other things with SiteRecon. So.
Very cool, guys. So thank you so much for such a cool closing statement. I really appreciate that. Dee, Stacy, any closing thoughts?
I'm excited for what you guys are going to roll out next. I've been here from day one when it started, and all the headaches, which were minor, but the learning curves. But I love the system now, and I'm excited to see what else you guys throw at us.
Thank you so much.
Same. Looking forward to it.
Keep throwing good feedback at us. We are hard at work, and we want to build cutting edge stuff. See, the problem is we are not out here selling. You guys are.
Yep.
Look at us like your
Trusted advisor.
Yeah, that and I don't know why I can't think of a good analogy here, but it's like we are building this tool set for you. So we are your mechanics, right? And it's like you are racing the car. We are sort of putting that into place.
Right.
So just feedback on how it feels like driving and how you want to get faster, or just like start flying.
Perfect. We'll definitely do that.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you like what you see here, don't forget to click on the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. We post videos every single week.